I broke every rule as a resident advisor slash resident assistant. I graduated in 2020 and these kids are doing their final semester now, so I can say this. It started as an accident and ended as a game to see how much I could get away with. The accident was falling for the cutest boy in my hall. The sex was fantastic. I partied all night with my residents. I wasn't 21 yet, but I used my fake ID to buy the alcohol. I made edibles for my residents. I never wrote any them up. I never did room searches. I still went to my sorority events. I went to Coachella weekend, Big Bear and Vegas weekends without telling my supervisors. I didn't do my job and had a lot of fun while taking advantage of the free food and housing. I used the whole budget to buy more alcohol and snacks for the floor instead of throwing informative hall programs. No one got hurt. I had 2 rules: 1. No inebriated driving, and 2. No throwing up after Hello Weekend. I figured they should know how to hold alcohol by then. If anything, they were more willing to come to me in an emergency because they knew I was chill and I wouldn't get them in trouble. My residents kept my negligence quiet because they didn't want me to get fired. All the others were lame. They gave me an award for being the top RA that year and asked me to come back the following year. I declined that offer. I just never told them that I was a terrible influence. If you trusted me with your 18-year-old college freshman, I'm sorry, but we had a great time. My freshman year, my roommates and I called our other Stunacon. We basically never saw him after he sat us all down, read the rules, said if you need anything I'm in room on day 1. It was a tiny school, like even if you were avoiding someone who lived on the other side of campus you'd run into them more often than the 3 of us ever saw Stu. We used to have fun making up backstories and theories about him and what he did with his time. We were teenage girls and we talked about him the way 14-year-olds would about a teen heartthrob celebrity. One day I got back from class and there was a huge commotion in the dorm. Stunicorn was running around knocking on doors, calling all of us for a dorm meeting because he had a big announcement we all needed to be there to hear. He explained that The Lion King, 1993, had been re-released in theaters and asked if anyone wanted to come with him to see it. 2 hours later our entire dorm is at the box office and Stu is explaining how excited he is that we are doing this, that it's his favorite movie, that none of his frat brothers wanted to come, and he would have felt lame coming alone. He was super easy to get along with, and we all ended up getting to know him a little better. We never saw him again. My favorite RA moment. I walked back to my room and the room across the hall smelt like weed so strongly. I was going home for the weekend, so I went in, packed, then knocked on the door. Kid answered, all the lights off, shades down, eyes half shut. I look at him, say, do you own Axe? He said yeah. I said spray that shit and walked away. And ran in my freshman dorm once noticed my friends and I smelt like weed when we walked in the front door. He then called the cops and had us all arrested. He wasn't even my floor's RA, nor was he on duty. Man, American colleges really infantilize their students. It's crazy that these people are considered adults, can own property and vote, are allowed to own an actual firearm, but can't buy beer and have babysitters in college. I've only had one encounter with an RA. He was my friend's, and I was staying one night in their dorm. Thing was, I snuck my kitten in, and for some reason he came by. My friend was worried he'd be mad, but he was so excited to play with my cat, and never said a word about it. Here's the thing, I'm a resident director, would have been this person's boss, and you say you didn't do your job, but at least where I work, having relationships with residents and walking through the college experience with them is half the job. On the other hand, buying alcohol with budget money is a really bad idea. I had an RA like this freshman year. It was totally great until she got completely wasted at a frat party and couldn't help me with our friend who got alcohol poisoning. I turned a blind eye to parties that were happening in the dorm I worked, as long as it wasn't disrupting anybody's sleep. Thankfully, our school was able to employ a lot of student employees. They didn't hurt anyone or weren't blatantly obvious about anything. I've smoked and drank in my room and saw my residents out at bars, but when we came back they felt comfortable coming to me with actual issues they had and advice. I had a resident open up to me after he saw me on a night out, and I was able to give him advice because he was in a horrible situation. My staff and I were all on the same page with that. We always said to our residents, we are college students too. We are going through college with you, with a little wink and a nudge. We had a lot of more serious incidents to deal with that involved mental health, racism, sexism, etc. Please like the video and subscribe to Reddit Daily Confession. Thank you.